I don't know what's going on.
Whether you're new to pool and practicing the basics, or a more experienced player performing drills to improve your shot making and positional play, the Drill Partner is perfect for you.
PremierBilliards.com. Exceptional cues, cases, and accessories from top-tier brands. Want it? Need it? Find it. PremierBilliards.com.
Son.
What is up, Melina Mike? Dogging It Show. We are back.
You are back, man. How are you, man? You're looking pretty good.
You know, I've been busy, but I've been following along. I saw the show you did with Sky. I got my opinions, and I'm raring to go.
Well, we've been known to have some opinions from time to time. Welcome back, buddy. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're doing all right. We've had a lot of questions, a lot of rumors. You know, have Joey and Mike broken up? Where's Joey at? Is Joey disappeared? You know, they thought I've been hearing all kinds of things.
Mike, you got to work on your white balance on that camera, man. You look whiter than me. Look at you.
Well, I got the lights pointed like right at me here, so that's part of like the issue. I can turn this off right now, but yeah, it's because I had them on custom and then I changed it up. Let me turn them the other way and see if that helps out. It'll help soften it up a little bit. There you go.
Yeah. I miss seeing you. Your pretty face.
Oh, yeah,
How was
buddy,
your
it's
time
good.
in Vegas and California, man? You were gone for like a week.
Not California, not yet anyway. I think we'll be out in California in the next couple of weeks for the start of the Lucasi tour, which I'm excited about. Although I don't know if I'm quite ready to hit the road. I was planning on. Well, there was a small chance I was going to hit the road tomorrow to go check out the opening day in Dallas. I was going to book a flight in the morning, go watch it with my dad, but my Madeline, she ain't let me out of her sight since I walked in the house. So. Yeah, she wasn't having it. So, but yeah, I'll be back on the road in a few weeks. Lucasi tour out at Hard Times, and then probably Super Billiards Expo after that. So, in the meantime, I'm glad to be home. I'm glad to be spending time with my girls, and yeah, man, it's been fun. It's been good though. It's been tiring. Not gonna lie.
Well, I've been busy with the new job, as you know. I'm in Washington D.C. right now. I'll be in Louisiana next week. Week after that, who knows where? But you know, we're trying
Louisiana.
it out. Yeah.
I might be in Louisiana if I go to that ultimate ultimate pool thing. I think that's like 19th and 20th. I might be out.
Yeah.
19, 20, 21, something like
That's
that.
the other side of the state. You'll be up in Shreveport, right?
Yeah, Shreveport. I've been there once.
I'm
I've been there once. I went to Side Pocket once. Went to go visit my good friends Billy Lynn and Jamie. Way back when, stayed at Sam's Casino a long time ago. But I'm not. Listen, I ain't trying to stay in a casino right now. I had 3 weeks in a casino. I'm all casinoed out.
Speaking of casinos, what's your take on the Mosconi Cup not being in Las Vegas?
Well, I had been hearing about this since let me think, since before the Derby. Yeah, actually, the end of last year is when I started hearing about it. I talked to Emily at the Derby. We had an interview there, and then I asked her about it point blank, and I think a lot of it was due to F1 being in Las Vegas at that time and just how much that was affecting things out there. So as far as pricing and just all kinds of things. So you know what? I'm glad for a change of scenery, personally. The casino and Vegas and all that, I'm good with. But maybe it's just because I'm a victim of having been out there for 3 weeks straight. But I'm okay with it. And Florida in November, hey, I'm sure it's not going to be too terrible. So,
Mike, come on, man. There's history there. You just can't be moving venues like that.
It's not like they're playing at Yankee Stadium. They change venues like you change hair products
in Las Vegas, right? But it's not like next year it's in Germany, right? It's in England, somewhere in England. Usually, you know,
but there's no roots in the casino per se.
Well, but I think Vegas. I think it should have stayed in Vegas. Okay, a lot of people like going for the escape, right? Like, it's their time to cut up. I think it's going to have an impact on the fans, to be honest with you, because everybody has that thing, right? I'm pretty straight laced, you know that about me,
Right.
but in Vegas, you tend to let your hair down a little bit. You tend to loosen up a little bit and get a little wild. And we saw it the last time it was in Vegas. We saw those fans. I mean, it was wild. And so I'm just skeptical that it's going to be as crazy in Florida. And we need crazy. Let me tell you, we need crazy, Mike, if we're going to do this.
Look, I see Matt's comment about attendance. I've been getting blown up as far as when tickets are going to be on sale. I don't know what the number is going to be like at the venue, but if you want to set a percentage over under as far as how many people are going to be there, I'll gladly take the over on whatever line that you or Matt or anyone else wants to talk about as it pertains to attendance. There's going to be a lot going on. It's not just going to be the Mosconi Cup. You obviously got this new drama with captains. People forget it's also going to be Shane's Hall of Fame inductee ceremony at some point throughout that week would be my guess. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on out there in Orlando, and I don't know what maybe there's a casino out there. I don't know. We can find something to get you busted on. If
There's
that's what
one
you
near
want.
Tampa. I
Is
don't know.
there?
Yeah, Hard Rock. I think there's a Hard
Yeah.
Rock. I've hung out there before, but no, I don't know. I don't know. I'm more of a traditionalist. It's been in Vegas. Keep it in Vegas. We've had captains. Let's keep having captains. Okay. I'm not feeling it, Mike.
You sound old. Your old's coming out. Your old is showing, because this is what happens. Old people just can't stand change, and American fans, like no other, they just complain about every single little thing. Why is it this, and why is it that, and why is this happening? And Emily hates America, and why are we having a Mosconi Cup in the USA? And then it's here. We're changing it up. We're trying to do things differently, and then it's still like complaints. I don't know. I'm looking
All right.
forward to it.
Well,
I'll be there this
okay. Let me
December.
ask you a question. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to take arguably the United States #1 player in the Mosconi Cup.
Right.
And now you're going to throw the responsibility of being captain on top of him. And after coming off a year where we got blown out,
Blown
and
out,
now,
son. Embarrassed. Laughed out of the
and
gym.
now you're going to add that to Sky's plate, and you expect America to win, or at least keep it close. It doesn't bode well. And I love Sky Woodward, biggest Sky Woodward fan in the world right here. But I just don't like having that additional responsibility on your best player going into the event. I think it hurts the U.S. much more than it hurts Europe, because, yeah, Shaw's going to be captain too, but, they're going to have 4 other killers there, right? So they have a lot more depth than we have. So when you take our best player and now you're going to throw a bunch of responsibility on that guy coming into the event, I'm not feeling it.
You know what? Like I think that the pressure could be swayed the other way when it comes to Jason. Having to perform, making sure you don't, be the one where you fail your team or the team falls to the Team USA, especially after a year where you win 11-3. Never mind the fact that I think there's a good possibility of the Europeans having 2 rookies based off of points. I think that's a strong, realistic option for this year, unlike any other year. So I think it'll be a lot more pressure on there. Now, when it comes to Sky and their responsibilities, look, I think similar to the Europeans, there's enough framework in place where you can just input players here or there. The Shane effect is always going to be there. I think Tyler stepped up to be more of a leader, and if he's on that Mosconi Cup, I think he'll help Sky out in that aspect as far as work ethic and making sure guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing and training and all that. And Shane's still a workhorse, but you got to keep Shane engaged, right? And so I don't know if I don't know that it'll necessarily hurt the USA more than it'll hurt the Europeans. I can't get there because I've seen Sky fade a lot. I don't know why Mike Bingham's saying I'm drinking the "We Got a Shot" Kool-Aid, because I'm not saying that. I bet on Team Europe every single year.
Don't block him, Mike. Don't
but
block him.
You know,
One
it's
thing that was consistent while I was away from this show is people sending me messages saying, "Why am I blocked from Windows Open? Why am I blocked from Full Player Podcast?"
they're barking up the wrong tree. They're barking up the wrong tree, buddy. I can tell you that.
Oh man. Well, hey, look. Here's my thing. To me, this was 100% the wrong move. If you're Matchroom, you want to bring these two teams closer together. Okay? And for the United States, in my opinion, they need someone who is going to be like Johan, someone who is going to bring something new from the training aspect and the preparation aspect. Now, look, Sky is an amazing talent. Love the guy, right? Not necessarily known for his work ethic, right? When he wants to play and wants to get in gear, he'll do it, right? But is he going to hold the rest of the team accountable to making the preparations that you need to get the team ready?
Well, let me ask you this. So you were there last year during the week that was prior to, right? So if you were going to list the amount of players who, if you were going to list in order the players who needed to be corralled as far as getting back on the table, you know, how far would you get to before you'd list Sky's name?
I actually thought Sky bought in. He bought in. We talked about this. The only one really that didn't buy in was Shane. It appeared, right? He arrived late. He practiced on the table by himself for a day, right? The rest of the guys seemed like they were all in it. And, Jeremy, I think if Jeremy had more time, those guys would have went in a little more prepared. But I think it's just a matter of the schedule, the amount of events, and the busyness that they have. It's hard to put together a camp anymore like they used to do, right? Where, remember, Johan took them over to Europe, took them to the Kremlin Cup, did a match against the Russians, did all that stuff. We talked about how maybe it would have been a good idea for Jeremy to do a match against like top amateurs in the Dallas area to kind of simulate that. But I don't know, man. I think we went the wrong
Look,
way.
if the game plan is to go, face off against Dallas's best players, no disrespect to Dallas pool players, but that ain't the route to go down. That's not going to
But
get
it at
you
least
prepared
gets
for Team Europe for Team Europe.
you can't simulate Team Europe, but it at least gets you prepared to competing, right? rather than those guys like playing Scotch doubles matches against each other. We saw how many times did Jeremy have to tell them, "Hey guys, take it serious. Hey guys, stop fooling around." Right? It's just natural. They're friends. They're playing together. But if they're in a competitive situation against 5 other players, they can shoot back at them a little bit. That's some form of preparation. I mean, Europe did that, right? They did it in Scotland. They played the locals. I mean, did that not happen? I think it did.
I think they played a team Scotland who gave them more of a fight than the Americans did. As far as the level, from a score line, I think they were more competitive. But as far as like how serious that the Europeans took them, I can't say because I didn't watch, and I don't know any part of that. I mean, listen, you're not going to win any Mosconi Cups in March and in April. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
True.
even I see comments about Shane's form, and listen, Shane is playing great. And even if Shane were to win a world championship this year, he'd still be playing great. But that'll be in June. And June Shane and December Shane are two very different players, completely through and through. And so,
individual Shane and team Shane are 2 different players, really.
Shane said it point blank. Hey, listen, I'm more of a me guy. It's up to everyone else to kind of do their part and step up. Now, I think there will be a bit of a culture shift because I feel like you have a good mix of players that have good work ethic, like I mentioned, like a Tyler, like a Federer, who's more likely gonna make it in off of points. And so I think from that aspect, there will be more of a culture shift where it can take off some of the pressure when it comes to Shane. But look, Sky's real buddy buddy with a lot of those players. That part
Is that
worries me
good or
some.
bad?
I don't think it's a great thing.
No.
I don't because then it's like listen, you need to have a good cop and a bad cop. Sky's a really good cop, really good. He's really good at breaking the tension. He's really good at getting guys pumped up. But to have to be the bad guy, right? Especially guys that you're gonna have to sit there and eat breakfast with, and you're gonna see them there all season long. and then especially how much stress it's going to be to be able to pick players, right? And more notably leave players off. He's going and those picks are going to be really under a microscope when it comes to both these guys, because if you end up having players who aren't necessarily who it's up to debate whether or not they're in form versus that they're good friends with them, it's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of
Talking about like a Billy?
talking about like a guy like Billy. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Where that certain players just have they're more friendly versus the other. And you can say that with guys like in Jason's corner too. But you have certain guys on Team Europe that are just automatics, right? Like if Filler's not there on points, he's gonna be there.
Yeah.
He's gonna get picked no matter what. No matter what, and no one's gonna argue that that's a fair pick. Billy Filler could hurt himself right now, not play for 6 months. And as long as he's got 2 or 3 months to get back in gear, you're saying, you know what, I'm picking him up because he's worth it. He's got a proven track record. But the American picks are going to be a lot more scrutinized. And I don't know that's a good thing for Sky and how that's going to weigh on him, mentally and out there on the big stage.
All right, Mike, a lot of the decisions that Matchroom makes, sometimes you don't understand them and they turn to gold, right? Since you and I started doing this, I mean, their trajectory is just up and up. They're doing great things, right? You can't argue that. What they're doing for Poole right now is impressive. But to me, this is a big head scratcher, Why change it? Why get rid of the captain concept and make player captains at this stage? Think of the buildup, right? When you and I are getting ready for Mosconi Cup, how many times do we have Jeremy on? How many times do we have Alex Lely on? How many times do we have, that's all part of the drama. Having that other person, that captain, that one that's overseeing things, right? When, if it's in the NFL, they want to talk to Belichick or they want to talk to the coach and they want to talk maybe even the GM, there's all that around the event that helps make it what it is. I don't understand this one. Why do you want to remove that piece?
But American fans have been complaining about this for years. Go back to Johan. How many people were on social media just ready to witch hunt the guy, and we don't need him, and he's not even a real American, and what are we doing?
Until he won it.
Until he won, and then they ripped off the shirt, and it was I Heart Johan shirts all across it. Now years later, you have people like you, people like me, people with a little bit of common sense saying, hey, listen, Johan wasn't necessarily a bad idea. And more importantly, we'd welcome him in with open arms at this point.
Yeah. I mean, and there's precedent for it, right? In every sport, you'll find like an Italian guy coaching an African soccer team in the World Cup, or, it's just you find the best coach to get the mission accomplished. In this case, the mission is the U.S. players. You need to pick a solid team and you need to give them time to gel and prepare and train. Okay. I don't see that happening now without the captain, the non-playing captain. And I just don't know why you change it at this point. Think about the drama each year in picking the captain.
Okay, so would you
about that for a month? Who's the captain going to be? Who do you think it's going to be? Maybe it's Jeremy. Maybe this isn't Jeremy's year. He lost last year. Maybe it's Dennis Hatch. Maybe it's Rodney Morris. Who's it going to be? Right? And then, all the guys putting out on social media, I'll be the captain. I'll be the captain. Leading to
you still see that. And you still see a lot of these sour grape, players with a lot of history, American players, a lot of history. You don't see a lot of older Europeans barking like that, but a lot of older American players saying they're more deserving, or they should be out there, or I belong out there, or they should have given me a shot. Go out there, get in the trenches, show up at an event.
You know what would have been really
rub elbows,
Molina. You know what would have been really interesting? If the captain of the U.S. this year would have been Alex Lely.
Yeah, I think that's part of, Mike mentioned it before, as far as like the burn bridge between Matchroom and some of these former coaches, like a Lely, like a Johan, who didn't necessarily leave on the best terms. Now that there's something, attractive or an opportunity there, it's, we're going a different route. And so, look,
I mean, at least, the U.S. would have been able to say, hey, we have a European coach again. We have somebody to help prepare the team and get them ready. And Alex is no
Well,
nonsense.
you know what? That's fine. Listen, just bring in Jason, bring in Alex Laley, bring in Thorsten Holman, Mika. What other Europeans are living here in the States? We can just have them face, Team Europe. Is that what
That's
you
not what
want
I'm
to do?
saying.
You know what I mean?
That's not what I'm
Yeah.
saying at all. But I'm
Well,
saying like I feel like that would have increased the drama, right? To increase the excitement. Look, there's going to be a lot of people who tuned in last year who are not going to tune in this year, right? What
why do you
evidence?
say that? Why?
What
Why
evidence? What evidence are they going to have? Like how
Americans
many?
lost for like 8 straight years, and they were
I
still
know, but
selling out the
there were
joint.
competitive years in there, Mike, and this last year was not competitive. And there were a ton of people saying, I don't even think I'm going to watch next year because it was just a blowout, a total blowout.
Listen, for all those people who said that, at the beginning of December after the event was over, there's a lot of those same people who were hitting me up. Hey, can you find out about getting me some tickets? I can show
like
you. I can show you my inbox.
it's
You
like
know,
the people who said they were moving to Canada if Trump won. They didn't move to
I'm
Canada.
just saying, man.
Liars.
Listen, the Mosconi Cup listen, there's roots in Vegas for sure, but people just love the event. They love the event. It's the one time a year they can really just fan out when it comes to pool and be there, like root just like they would for a baseball team or football team or whatever. Right? It's that one time a year that we can all get together. But like nitpicking every step of the way or question or second guessing every move that's made, that part of it I just don't get behind. Now, I'm necessarily rooting for everything that Matchroom does, because some of them can be, exhausting, like a long PLP event, But listen, something needed to be shaken up because another year with Double J just wasn't going to cut it. He said as much whenever we had him on post Mosconi Cup. Matter of fact, I reached out to Double J earlier today. He's willing to come on. We're going to have him on at some point this week, so I need to set up a time for that. And I'd love to get his honest opinion, his post like announcement, reaction, and get him on the record and talk about Sky as a captain, talk about, the SVB effect, talk about what effect he feels like it's going to have for Europe, what players, are really on the radar that maybe he was a little more PC before, where maybe he doesn't have to be now, So I'm going to be looking forward to that and make sure and stay tuned whenever we do
I
post that. But
Look, Mike, all I'm saying is I feel like this move doesn't draw the US any closer and it's actually a step backwards. That's no offense to Sky Woodward, amazing talent, um, great team player. I think he's going to get the guys motivated, but I don't think motivation's enough anymore.
look, I know that after this last year's Mosconi Cup, there was a lot of talk within the players just saying, what all do we have to do to change things, And so there's already rumblings within themselves, knowing that they don't want to go out there and put that same foot forward, So whatever they got to do to shake it up, they're willing to do. And if there's one person that they're willing to go to bat for and go to war with and make sure that they got their back, it's Sky. Sky's everybody's guy.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to make sure they'll give their best effort if for him for nothing else. And so
Is
hopefully
there any way Sky Woodward plays better as a playing captain? I mean, is that even possible? Like, look at the thing, Mike. Have you ever seen a guy who's a tournament
But that's
director?
not fair though, because you can
No,
say
no, no.
he's always played better. Played better than probably 8 other players out there
Right,
though.
but
So like he's
better
got the
than he
highest
did.
ceiling.
Oh, I know. But what I'm saying is, like, have you ever seen a tournament director who's a good pool player and it's their time to run their tournament and play in that same tournament? How often do they do well? Usually never, right? Because their mind is constantly on who's up next. Hey, that table's empty. Get somebody on that table. They're keeping track of what's going on, and they don't have that same level of focus so that they can bear down and do their thing at the table. I've seen
That's
it happen
fair.
over and over again.
Listen, you lost 11-3 last year. 11-3. How much worse can it get, Joe?
Yeah.
Right? How much worse can it get? By going and putting them out there and saying, "Hey, figure it out." I'd rather those players go out there and try to figure out that way versus hoping that things change differently when in fact you know it hasn't gone the best direction for American fans in a couple of years now. You know,
Yeah.
so I think Sky's still going to be playing pretty sporty. I think Sky will have to really just man up and put on his belt in a lot of aspects. And he's going to have to be, the uncomfortable guy in the room at times. He's going to have to be the friendly guy. He's going to have to wear a lot of different faces, a lot of different helmets, a lot of different, all kinds of things.
I gotta
He's going to have to have his finger on the pulse. How much?
I gotta highlight that comment.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but that's what I mean, though.
It could get
Yeah.
11-2.
And if it goes
11-1.
11-2, then you know what? It was the same thing that happened before. So what do you got to lose? And all these players who were saying, yeah, but you listen, they're gonna go in there. They're gonna go in there probably at right now. They're probably going to it a 4-game dog. 4 games.
You didn't
going
answer
to
my question. You didn't answer my question. Like, what's the
Answer.
motivation? What is the motivation for Matchroom to make this change?
Maybe they're saving money.
Yeah, not having to pay a captain.
Captains are getting paid. If the captains are getting paid what the players are getting paid, and they're saving money, and then let's say they throw an extra whatever it is, 60,000 into the prize fund for the players, for the 10 guys, then what?
Yeah.
I'm for it. And I heard what you mentioned before, as far as like the Kremlin Cup and all those things. People forget that was on the back of a lot of players. That was them spending their money to go out there and do it. That wasn't Matchroom forking over that bill. So while it was good in theory and it paid dividends because they came out with victories, it still has to make sense from a lot of standpoints, Joe.
Yeah.
And so I think that they're already what to me is going to be more of a struggle for the Americans is the fact that it's right after Thanksgiving. And so how much preparation can you get in leading into the Mosconi Cup knowing that you're right after Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Yeah. That's an issue. Maybe the venue change. There's thoughts that maybe the Europeans will have a hard time adjusting to the humidity of playing in Florida. It's a different game. When you get to those southern states with a lot of humidity, it's completely different from Vegas.
I see Mike's comment is if they win 11-4, it is better. If they win 11-2, it's worse. It's just you chalk it up one way. I wouldn't say that it would be working, but you can't say it got worse. If you're going the right direction, you got listen. When you get embarrassed, you got to take whatever opportunities you can to find positivity and hope that it trends the right direction in any way, shape, or form.
Look, I want to be on this when you get Jeremy on here. I want to be on this because I want to ask Jeremy some of these hard questions. I want to get his thoughts. You guys struggled last year, Jeremy. And how in the world does this get the U.S. any closer by not having true captains, right? Having player captains. I don't see an answer to that. I'd love to hear what Jeremy has to say about that.
Well, I guarantee you we're going to have him on, and I'm excited to make sure that we do get him on. Yeah, Mike, I see your comments as far as a drastic change, but that's so broad. Like something different has to happen. Well, no shit. I mean, how much more obvious can we put it out there? It wasn't good what happened last year, but going and saying we're going to have Jeremy out there or hoping that some, angel in the form of Johan is going to come and save the Americans, that ship has sailed. That ain't going to happen.
We don't know that.
And if
we don't know that till we try
well,
it.
you know that today.
How?
You know that today because they announced someone else as a captain. So his ass ain't coming in as a captain.
Oh,
now.
no. I mean, how do we know that won't work, though? We don't know.
What do you mean that Johan wouldn't work? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm saying that, like bringing a Johan, bringing a Alex, or bringing
no. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that by bringing them in, it wouldn't work. What I'm saying is that there's not an opportunity. That ship's already sailed. Now, do I think that they would have been much better because of that? For sure. And you would be a lot more hopeful for it and you know why? Because they have a proven track record of winning, Joe.
See,
right? They got results.
That's my point. If you're Matchroom, you want this thing to be close. Every year, you want it to be close.
Let me tell you how much Matchroom really wants it to be close, Joe, because for all these people that said for years on social media that Emily hates the Americans and she hopes that they lose, you know what? Years ago and just within the last few winning years, Emily opened up the pockets to give the Americans more of a chance. People don't necessarily know that. Wasn't necessarily public news, but that was a fact. And you know why? Because the players like Shane and others who campaigned and said, when Emily asked them, how do we give you guys more of a chance at winning? They said, open up the pockets. And that's what they did. So they bent over backwards to make this Mosconi Cup more competitive. At the end of the day, though, pick up your pants and go out there and give it the best shot you can. That's all you can do. You're outgunned, you're outmatched because they got a bigger pool. You got players who work better, work harder, who are more talented, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. There's not going to be very many excuses. You got to do better than the 11-3 score line, period, end of the day. So if Sky's going to be that leader that I think he can be, and I think he will do, I don't want to say he'll do a better job than Jeremy Jones, but I think that he can get those guys to better than an 11-3. Now, you don't got to do a whole lot to get there. You just got to win a couple more games, but anything at this point is more positive than what it's been.
Yeah. How do you feel like,
the fuck's up?
Because Sky
today. I can't. I'm having to look over here because I can't see the screen over here.
Relax. It's all good. Everybody's having fun. This is Spirit. We see all your comments, guys. Thanks. And I miss all you guys too. So thanks for the comments on that. But how do you feel about Sky's ability to be serious when he needs to? Because he was always that one when Jeremy was serious. Sky would be the one to kind of break the ice, or, he'd be kind of keeping everybody relaxed. But there might be a time where he's got to get in somebody's ass. And I know you asked him that earlier. So recap for me what he said and what are your thoughts?
What is he going to say? I'm not really comfortable in that. Good luck to him. He said all the right things, and he'll continue to say the right things because that's all you can do. What I really believe is that compared to years past, the Federer effect is going to show its face a lot more. And what I mean by that is because Federer's going to lead by example. Tyler's going to lead by example. Shane already can go out there and hit balls for 3 hours before his match. He's going to go and lead by example, And so Sky wasn't that guy, and he even said it himself. I'm not the guy to go and show up 4 hours before. I'm not the first guy in there hitting pull balls, But I guarantee you, and I mentioned this earlier, if you put those 5 Europeans who just finished off in December together in a room and you said tomorrow's the Cup or in 2 days is the Mosconi Cup, you know what they're going to do? They're going to get in a group chat, find the nearest pool room amongst themselves. They're going to show up early. They're going to show up ready, and they're going to go and train because they know how to train. Where I don't think you're going to have to framework a whole lot of things because they already know what the formula is for those players. That may not necessarily work for the Americans, but at the very least, try to mimic it, and hopefully that it translates for you, But a guy like Federer will lead by that. Tyler, like I said, but it's going to be an uphill battle. And personally, even though Sky will say all the right things, I think I have a hard time seeing him play that role, to be the hard ass and to get in someone's ass whenever you need to, And listen, one thing that I learned, I got a family full of educators. My aunts, my mom, all these women in my life who were great and who were awesome and who were educators. And when COVID happened, my daughters came home and I was forced to have to teach them. And I got a whole new level of appreciation for what they did. And what I mean by that is that what I learned is you have to find different ways to teach different people, even your own kids, right? Because the same thing isn't going to work across the board, right? You cannot have the exact same thing you want to accomplish and just say, if you plug it in, it's going to work the exact same way for everyone, because that's not how it works. You got to figure out what resonates with that person and light a fire with them, and then figure out how to get that person engaged and excited. And that's why that taught me to have a lot more respect for what it is that they really have to do, of what they really do out there. And so, and there's the same thing when it comes to coaching and leading men, and not just men, Joe, but leading men who have hardware, right? Shane's not like a big alpha in the room because of his personality, right? If you know Shane and you were around him enough out there, you saw him joke around and laugh and cut up a little bit. But for the most part, he's an introvert. He's not like a Jason or a Josh or a bigger than life kind of personality. but you have to figure out a way to get them involved and engaged and in the mix of all these different people, and to where it comes together. And they got to be, what was that team, Joe, in hockey in the 80s, right? You got
Miracle
team
on Ice.
the Miracle on Ice, right?
Yeah.
You got to be the little
Like,
effing
like,
giants, right?
like,
You got to
like
be
Placid,
Kevin
New York.
O'Shea. Give them one time. They may beat us 99 times, but that one time, Joe. And
No, you're absolutely right, Mike. And when it comes to leading people, you have to know, like, there's ways you can talk to one person. You can't talk that same way to another person. That's part of being a leader. You got to figure that out. And so I think one thing Sky has working for him is, I think he has a really, first of all, I think he's a lot more intelligent than he gives off, right? I think he kind of gives off this laid back kind of like, yeah, whatever. But I think he's a lot more intelligent as a pool player, but also
oh,
he's got a very
definitely.
high EQ, right? Connecting with people. And I think that will benefit the team. I don't,
EQ.
yeah, emotional quotient. You never heard of EQ?
Does my
Yeah.
face look like I've heard of EQ?
You got IQ and EQ. Guys, in the chat, tell Melina what EQ is. But you got those people that have that emotional intelligence that can connect with people. So I guess that is
That
what
he does.
now I'm starting to convince myself, okay, maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was, because you kind of brought me around on that one. Maybe he will be able to make that connection with the various players in a way he needs. Like, I'm sure Tyler would not mind Sky getting in his ass, because Tyler will get in his own ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
But talking to Shane, he's going to have to handle that a little different. So
That Shane's the big question mark. And he always is the big question mark.
yeah,
And until he realizes that, or takes more of an ownership and responsibility for what his role is, even if it's unofficial, right? Because lest we forget, Shane was a vice captain in the last few years as well,
yeah,
right? Then it shifted to Sky, and then now here we are. Has been the birth of Sky Woodward, the captain. But Shane's got to have that responsibility. And we've been really hard on Shane. Come December and leading up to it every single year.
yeah,
Every single year, and you really got to have a come to Jesus moment with them beforehand. Be able to talk with them candidly during, if need be. But listen, there's one thing that fixes all of it. One thing, just go win,
yeah.
go in. That's it. And you know what? It's short race, 9 ball to 5. And if
Um,
you want to pull positives out of things, like I mentioned to Mike earlier, 3 Americans were through to the final 6 of PLP, and those were short race to 5 with the best players on earth. I think there's going to be a lot more trust, which means they'll be more comfortable out there with them. Federer will have another year under his belt. Sky will be able to rely on Shane. Sky will be able to rely on Federer. Tyler can be more dependable if he's on the team, and then who's ever in that fifth spot, whether it's a Wolford or an Oscar or a Billy Thorpe or whoever, has to deliver. They have to pull their weight, But I feel like more than ever, listen, the Americans, they don't need cheerleaders right now, right? What they need is guys who can go out there and get points whenever you need it, you
yeah,
know. So
yeah. Well, Melina, you were out in Vegas all that time. I was getting caught up with the new job, but catch me up on some of the stuff going on. Obviously, Shane
well,
is like
hold on.
super
We've been chopping up Sky for the last 40 minutes. What about Jason?
told you it's irrelevant to me, because he's got the supporting cast that, look, if Jason played well last year, right? He played really well. He did what he does in the Mosconi. But
Mr. December.
you almost have the feeling that if he didn't, they still would have been fine.
The wheels don't come off if one player checks
Yeah.
out of
They
Team
have
USA.
so much backup. They have so much depth on that team
Right.
that, and I saw the pictures of Jason in the kitchen again this week with, PLP and doing what he does at his pool room. He's used to juggling a lot of stuff. And someone said in the chat earlier, he's been like a captain. At least last year, he seemed like the captain, right? In
He's
terms
been a
of
leader in that locker
outward
room for years.
motivation. And yeah, so I don't really see this being too difficult for Jason. Uh, I think he wants kind of control of that. He wants to be the one kind of handling all that stuff. He's not going to look at it as a burden at all. And even if his play does dip by 5%, it's still plenty good enough, and he's still got the guns behind him to back him up. So that's why I say I don't think it affects Europe as much as it could potentially affect the United States, because if we've seen it before, when Sky falters, like when we were out in Vegas and Sky had that shot where he had that long reach shot and he missed it, that he would have taken control of that match, and the United States might have taken a lead, I think, right?
The match with David. The
Yeah.
match with David. Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like once that doesn't happen, that's not just a loss of that game or that match. That's damaging to the team, because our hero, the guy who always gets it done in Mosconi, didn't get it done. So that's what I think. I think he's
but then you had Federer, who was the great American hope. He was,
it was disappointing.
A lot of things went wrong. But
There's
listen,
no way. Okay,
so
on the other side of the argument, there's no way the United States can play as bad as they played last year. I'm going to go on record as saying that. There's no way.
So the only way they can go worse is if they lose 3 more games.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's no way Federer is going to play the way he played last year with another year under his belt. It's just not going to happen. They're going to play better. It's going to be a closer match. But I feel like Matchroom, any rule changes, any format changes Matchroom does should be to bring it closer together, create more parity, right? Like when they brought a salary cap into sports, bring the teams closer together.
And they ought to be Fargo handicap.
Yeah, let's Fargo rate.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but bring the teams closer together rather than further apart. You know what I mean? Like,
6-5 races. Or they got to lay 2-1 on the money. Right.
Oh, you're killing me, dog. You're killing me.
They got to do something. Listen, I agree with you, but at the end of the day, you got to go out there and play, Joe. You got to go out there and play. And listen, you're right. They had it really good last year, but it could have been just as easily. I don't want to say a train wreck, but a more slippery slope than what it was. Right. They took control of that match early on, but we were 1 round away from Alexa making that team, and who knows how he would have performed. Now I think that kid is tough as iron, but who knows how he would have performed on that stage, right? The question of rookies being on the team made Jason noticeably take a deep breath and kind of like get uncomfortable, right? They know the importance of it. And I think for the most part, you're going to have 5 Americans who have been there and done that before, right? There's no one that we really see making it unless it's like a player like maybe a Lucas, if that, right, who comes in and takes a 5th spot. But for the most part, you can depend on the fact that they're going to be 5 Americans who have played on that stage before. I would bet decent money that there's going to be 2 Europeans who make it in on points who are rookies, which could be dangerous.
What's it look like now?
Well, I mean, it's still early on in the year. I'm not paying attention in March right now, but just from an odds standpoint, that's what I would, venture to guess.
If form holds, then Alexa was looking really good last year. Sanjin was putting in some good events.
Look at how, listen, I hate to keep on bringing it up, but look at how a player like Kazakis performed out there, right? He was having a great year, shows up on Team Europe, and we ain't seen him in a few years.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think it can be tough. And listen, the stress of leaving off, I see someone mentioned Kachi's name. Imagine leaving Kachi off of this year's team.
Yeah.
If he picks up anywhere near where he was at last year. I see a mention of Mario He, right? I love Mario almost as much as I love my guy Max, right? But
almost.
if you're
the Austrians,
if you're I would say this, and I mean this with as much respect as I can possibly say, but if you're a fan of Team USA, you're rooting for a guy like Mario He to make it on that team, because Mario can shake a little bit. Mario can shake under pressure a little bit, especially when you have 2,500 screaming fans out there. He can rattle a little bit. And you want guys, if you're an American fan, who can rattle on Team Europe. And then you're going to see and then you're going to see how much Jason can have it in cruise control come December.
Pick 2 rookies that the U.S. most wants to see on Team Europe?
Golly, you're trying to make me just make enemies from Team Europe.
Yep.
I've already.
I've been gone for a while. I got to come back firing.
I don't want to give anyone
Well, you already
bulletin
said
board material.
Mario.
Yeah, and I love Mario, but Mario can shake a little bit. I think if I'm thinking about anyone else who's just got a ton of talent, who can have a realistic shot at making it in on points, listen, even a kid like Victor, great kid, great talent, but nerves can get to him a little bit, And I know he's won some Predator events. Me and him talk all the time whenever I see him. I love that kid's game, and I hope he does make it on that team because the fan of his wants to see him, but nerves are a realistic thing, and you can ask killers like Jason. You can ask killers like Josh. You can ask killers like Sky Woodward. What's it like out there? They'll tell you it's nothing like you've ever experienced before in your life.
Yeah.
And so there's no other way of recreating it.
Let's see if anybody shows up in Florida. No, I'm just kidding. In fact, if you think about it, Florida, in terms of like a population center, I think you're right. They're not going to have any problem filling it. You can get to Florida pretty easy from the East Coast. There's going to be, in a good way, there's going to be a lot of people that maybe haven't had the opportunity to get out to a Mosconi Cup that now will, right? Because it's in their backyard. So that's kind of the positive. But I'm going to miss Vegas. And you know what? I don't like Vegas. I go there like 3 times a year for soccer tournaments. You and I go there all the time for pool. I'm Vegased out.
I'll be fine if I don't go to Vegas the rest
of the year. I want it in Vegas. Like that. Jeremy, don't you want it in Vegas? Tell the truth.
Hell no, I ain't trying to go to no Vegas right now. Listen, I tell you, no, you know what? I might go to Vegas for APA World Championships. Matter of fact, we might go to Vegas for APA World Championships. And I forgot to tell you.
Oh, so, me and you?
We.
Let's do it. Yeah. When is it?
Hey, and you ain't putting the queue together, son. I think in August.
Snap that thing off. Is it singles?
What does that mean? What if it was teams, man? Come on, what does that mean? Is it singles? What kind of question is that? There's already the cracks are already forming.
I almost pulled out my pool cue this week and put it on an airplane to come out here because I'm going to go see my brother tomorrow, and he's got a table in his basement, and I'm always using his cues, and he's always beating me by a game or two. He's a decent player, and so I was like, man, this time I'm gonna bring my cues and I'm gonna whoop his butt. But I didn't bring him. So I'm probably going to lose.
Collins, it's way too soon to ask about my players card, buddy. Let me ask you something, Joey. Give me your 5 Americans right now you'd put on Team USA.
You're going to make me do this.
Right now.
I mean, do I have to include the ones that are going to qualify?
What kind of question? I just said, give me the 5 Americans who are going to be playing on.
Well, I said after
Ryan's
last year,
Team USA.
If I could pick 5, I told you last year after Mosconi, I would not pick Shane, and that was the big controversial.
Oh, you did say that. That's right. Yeah. I remember. Matter of fact, you left Federer off that team too.
That was an accident, though. I didn't mean to do that.
Not that you want to be bringing up old stuff. All right.
Let's see. All right. Sky Woodward.
So let me ask you: Are you still standing by that comment today, seeing how Shane's been playing?
I mean,
are you know what you were feeling in your soul when you made those comments, Joe? I would leave Shane Van Boning from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, off of Team USA. As a guy who's been on there for 18 years now.
As a guy who's competed individually and on a team, it's a completely different animal. And I just don't believe that that's the right format for him. I don't think he enjoys it. If you're not happy, if you're not at peace inside, you can't play your best pool. Like, try to play pool when you're going.
Don't give me that kumbaya stuff.
Hey, seriously,
give me your 5. Give me your 5 Americans. Try to play
pool when you're out of work, or try to play pool when you're going through a divorce. It's like when you got turmoil inside or you're not comfortable, you don't play good pool. He is not.
I'm gonna call Shane right now
on the team
and let him know. Are you keeping him off the team? And okay, that's fine. That's fine. He can have his moment and sitting at home come December. So then who are you putting in? Who's your 5?
All of these people that are commenting and saying Shane's on the team no matter what. I don't think they were saying that after the last Mosconi. Now, People have short memories. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Sky, Federer, Tyler, Shane Wolford, Lucas. That's my 5.
Okay.
Did I forget anyone?
Not that I can think of. Nobody comes to mind. Nobody comes to mind. Yeah. You might get one. No, you're getting more than one. Actually, you'll probably get 11-3. Actually, with that team.
I don't know. I mean, it's just the way I feel, Mike. I don't know that anybody will ever convince me. And next time I see Shane Van Bonen, he'll probably want to slap me. But I just don't think he enjoys himself in that format.
I'll make sure y'all take a picture together next time we're in the same room. I'll tell you that.
He doesn't play well in the event. He doesn't like the event. He is the best player in the United States. There's no question about that. But I'm not doing it.
Well, at least you got some you know what? Yeah, some balls to say it. You know, most people wouldn't feel comfortable saying that. You know, especially about their guy, especially today, because Shane's been on a tear in the last,
that's the thing,
30 plus days.
That's the thing, right? He's winning everything right now, and he's playing great pool. And so now I look like a fool for saying this because everybody forgot that he didn't really play well. And not only did he not play well in Mosconi, he brought the rest of the team down. He did. 100%.
Well, listen, I see Jeremy Jones in the comments there. I can't wait to have him on the show and ask his honest opinion about this very topic and whether or not a guy like he says SVB plays. Well, nobody wants to be that guy to leave Shane off the team, you know? And listen, the guy's going for 20. It's going to be his Hall of Fame.
Moot anyway. I don't even know why we're arguing this. We're just giving Shane a reason to be pissed at me because he's going to be on the team with points anyway.
Yeah. I don't know that he's going to guarantee to be in there on points, you know, unless you go.
What do you mean?
Well, what does he want in Matchroom?
It doesn't matter, Mike. The fact that he has the means to compete in more Matchroom events, it's just
his bankroll ain't going to be the reason why he makes it in there.
No, but his byproduct of him attending all of the, the European Open, the UK Open, all those events that like the Americans that are trying to break onto the
40
scene
plus years old
might get over there and playing it, but they're not going to make the final 16. He probably is. You know what I mean? Well, it's an uphill battle for somebody to edge him out on points for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation, Yeah. But
I'll tell you one thing. If Wolford is not on points, he's a lock to be a wild card. A lock. Lock it up.
Why do you say that?
Well, we were out there. Him and Sky have a nice connection, and he played rather well.
So that's the only recipe you need, huh?
Lock it up.
They can go enjoy a pizza together, and he played all right. Yes. That's it.
Lock it. Just trust me. Lock it up.
Wolford I'll tell you what. I'll give you action on Wolford making the team. I'll also give you action on SVB not making the team. How about that?
Forget that. But I'll do the Wolford one. I'll do the Wolford.
So then you're saying basically because SVB is going to make the team, so you're basically saying all 5 of the American spots are locked up already in April.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep. 100%.
So you're saying
our team this year will be Shane, Sky, Federer, Tyler, Shane Wolford.
So the exact same team as last year.
Yes, 100%. There's no. I'll take that bet if you'd like to bet on that.
Okay, what are we betting?
I don't know. Steak dinner.
Done.
Have you ever had Wagyu steak?
Oh, you trying to bust me now? Now I say done, and now you're just trying to like.
I went out to dinner with my CEO, and I got like a big fat ribeye, and I was excited to eat it. And he got like the Wagyu with the they slice it thin, and he's like, "Here, try a piece of this before you eat yours," and it just ruined me. Because it just went down like butter. And then I'm like, how am I supposed to eat this big old ribeye now?
After eating that one?
Yeah, it was.
Let me ask you the same question about the Europeans, Joe, since we got you just going off the deep end here.
Okay. You're taking advantage of me since I've been gone for so long.
Well, I don't,
Really embarrassed the guy.
listen, I may not see you for another month. I got to make sure to get my money's worth.
Okay.
So, who are you picking?
I think they'll try their hardest to get the same team in there. I really do.
Who's they? Matchroom?
No,
Emily? The
Jason.
players?
Jason, yeah. I mean, I'm sure if you gave him the option right now and said, hey, would you like to have the same team as last year? They'd say yes.
Well, of course. I mean, they won 11-3, and they got a lot of
Not
chemistry
only that,
rapport
the
with
chemistry,
one
yeah.
another. Yeah, the chemistry is massive with those. You see those five
By
guys
the way, what
anywhere?
in the hell happened to David at Premier League pool?
I mean, look, when you change cues, funny things happen.
Yeah, you think it was
You know,
equipment?
I'm not saying that was the reason why. I just think that's a fair, realistic part of the reason why. You know, Jason, look at Raymond's comments about Jason and Jay Flowers. His cue wasn't necessarily at his best neither. People forget. Listen, Jason plays great pool. Jason's been playing great pool for a while. But when Jason was a monster, Jason was with Mucci. Then he goes to Perry, and we didn't see Jason win it. And Jason was winning everything under the sun for like 2 years with Mucci. Switches to Perry, we didn't see him for like 2 years.
It makes me uncomfortable the way you say that word.
Which one? Under the sun?
Mucci.
Mucci. You know what? I had that debate with those dudes. How do you properly pronounce
With
it?
the Mucci guys?
Mayucci is what I hear because it's
No.
Italian. It's Italian. Yeah,
Get out of here.
I
Aren't
swear.
they in like Alabama or something?
One of the guys is in Dallas. The other guy, I don't remember where he's from. Both of them great guys. But
Mucci. You
maybe
say Mucci the way I say Masse. Or
don't put that evil on me, Ricky.
or what's
Bobby.
the other one? What's the other one I say? Jeremy Sauce.
Okay, so who are you picking? I know who you say who they want to be. Who are you picking as far as your five guys?
I mean, how do you go against that? How do you not pick that team if you're just picking a random team? The only one you could argue right now that you would want in there instead of, well, I don't even know instead of who, but the only one you can make an argument for is
No. Finish off your sentence there.
Kachi. Maybe Kachi.
Instead of who? Make some enemies one time in your life, Joey Ryan. Come on, instead of who?
Look, I love all those guys. They're all good players. They've all treated me well. I think you go with whoever's hotter out of David or FSR. And then the other one's out. Kachi's in. Like if David shows the kind of form he showed in the PLP, then yeah, Kachi instead of David any day. No?
He's driving the bus and just saying, peace, gotta go, David. Don't call me, I'll call you.
No, but seriously, I mean, Kachi could have easily been on that team last year.
Kachi probably should have been on that team last year.
Yeah. I mean, the guy
a lot of debate
throws his arm and still like plays amazing even after he came back. I mean,
listen, you got Kachi, you're gonna have Filler, Jason is a lock, and then you got probably two other spots.
Why you say Kachi's a lock on points?
I think he'll be playing up to par. Yeah, I think he'll be playing well enough to make it in on points, or at least be more.
How do you not pick Albin at that point as a wild card? You have to pick Albin.
Albin was an afterthought before Hanoi. Even he said that whenever we had him on the show.
Yeah,
Joe.
but he was so good in Mosconi. He's just so good. He's a quiet assassin.
Do you want me to? Okay. I mean, the way you said that makes me feel uncomfortable now.
I know, assassin. He's a
quiet
assassin.
Relax. I would say get a room, but you already got one.
Yeah, okay. So like if I were going to mix things up, because at some point, Team Europe needs to start thinking about the future. And so it's
why the present is so beautiful right now of your Team Europe. They don't have that problem like they did with Wolford and Lucas and trying to get players of tomorrow acclimate. They're doing just fine with the players they got right now. Why on earth would you want to think about the future? You won 11-3.
Well,
I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I think they can afford to. They can afford to throw in a rookie, get them some seasoning, see how they do, and see if that's going to be the next one, like a Moritz.
Well, having player captain, you think at the expense of leaving off your buddy off the team?
What do you mean? Which buddy?
I'm just saying, if let's say you got, if let's say,
Oh, you mean one of the ones that are there? Like, are you not going to include them?
one of the cool kids, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and that's where, listen, that's where the player captain can be a real slippery slope. Just like we had that conversation earlier about Sky, right? If there's someone who is not so obvious who gets in that can kind of leave you scratching your head, you know,
I could see Filler campaigning for Moritz.
Moritz may make it in on his own merit the way he's been playing.
Yeah. But I could
You know?
see, I could see.
Moritz was another kid into the U.S. Open day 2 or whatever it was, day 3. He was in he had control of his own destiny.
Yeah, isn't
right?
that the tournament where he got sick?
He got sick. He was playing. I forgot what it was, but he was on TV table and he's there with like a thing of like hot tea or something, just trying to warm up. Yeah, maybe
his hand was getting so cold he had to put his hand around the cup. He was saying, "Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
we interviewed him."
Yeah. But he may make it in on his own right, where they may not have a choice. Like they can't be denied, And when I think about rookies, we talk about rookies who can shake a little bit. I don't think that kid's got a whole lot of shake in him.
No,
like if seeing him out there on the World Cup of Pool stage, right? Just seeing the way that he handles deep runs in tournaments, right? If he were to make it in on points, he'd be one where I'd be like, oh man, like if I'm an American fan, I like the kid. But if I'm an American fan, I may be like, oh, man, you better be careful now. Because that rookie ain't going to be playing like a rookie.
Let's rank the top 5. If Europe was going to have a rookie as a wild card pick, let's just say hypothetically, let's say David or Francisco or Albin, one of them gets really out of form. Okay. Let's rank our top 5 rookies to make Team Europe. And then we've already been an hour. We'll kind of wrap it up after that. But
I'm going to put him out there, but then I don't know about ranking him. So Moritz would be on that short list. Victor would be on that short list. Mario He would be on that short list. Max Lechner would be on that short list. And I'm talking just rookies. Dude, what are you doing, man? You for sure getting blocked.
I'm trying to mouth Alexa. I'm trying to mouth Alexa.
Alexa?
Yeah.
See, for me, it would be between Alexa and Sanjin would be the 5th and 6th one for me.
I think Alexa.
Did I not say Victor?
You did.
Did I say Victor? I should have said Victor if I did. Okay, yeah. So, I guess I don't know. That's tough.
Who's got a brighter future? That's a good question. Who's got a brighter future between Sanjin and Alexa?
They're good friends, man. I don't want to,
cause another Yugoslavian war
no,
between Serbia and Bosnia.
Yeah, that's rough, man. It's a tough question. Boy. 2 years ago, I would have said Sanjin and thought I was stealing.
After the U.S. Open last year, how great
that kid plays strong, man.
I did not know he
really
had
strong.
Weird.
Neither did I. I knew he played good. I didn't realize he played that good, and he does play that good. And if he can follow that up, and get support that he needs to be able to go out there and compete, then look out. Look out. Was Alexa at the Derby, Raymond? I don't remember. I don't think Alexa.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, he was.
Alexa Purcell?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember him being at the Derby.
I'm almost sure he was.
No. I know Raymond was there. Raymond was too drunk on beating Filler. I don't think Alexa was at the Derby.
Oh, Gangflot. Forgot about him.
Yeah.
Not quite ready.
No, not to make it in that 6. Like, you can't tell. I'll be glad to have that debate to put it, you're going to tell me he belongs in more contention than those 6 players I just mentioned then, No, he was in the final. No. You're thinking about Vitali was in the final, not Alexa.
That's Vitali.
Yeah. That's what somebody's saying. He was in the final, wasn't he? Oh, he's talking about oh golly. We had him on the show after Derby.
Yeah, who was that?
Yes, Labutis.
Yes.
Labutis. Yeah.
You're getting all the Europeans mixed up.
Yeah.
He played great at Derby.
He played outstanding at the Derby. Yeah. But you
he could have easily won that.
he was in position to win. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
he got one ball that he came back and got short on, and then
Well,
had
way to
to
bring up old stuff. Way to
take
bring
a
up old
tough
stuff,
cut.
buddy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that, man. We were
Yeah.
streaming that match, weren't we? Or no, that was on the feature table.
Unless you were pirating it, yeah. No, no, no. We weren't
No,
allowed
I
to,
didn't
buddy.
do that.
We weren't allowed to. All right, so give me your
Mike,
five. Give me your five guys.
didn't I agree with you.
Yeah, you're sticking
Yeah,
the same five.
yeah. I mean, it's a fun topic to debate for Europe, right? I wish it were that fun to debate for the US.
Well, it is to an extent.
Come on.
They're not as loaded.
What?
You have to figure out
How
other
do you
ways.
even get a list of 5 potential rookies for US?
Oh, we're just flat rookies? No,
Yeah.
no,
No, you
just
can't do
rookies.
that.
No,
You
just
could do
rookies. You
that
may
1 or
have
2.
maybe two,
Yeah. No
maybe two.
disrespect.
Well,
No
listen,
disrespect to
if
big
guys
players.
aren't out there playing, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Bergman ain't coming back. Josh Roberts don't really play any World 9 Ball Tour events,
DeShane's out.
right? Deshane done signed his fate years ago. That
Mhm.
ship already sailed, you know. So what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
And look at Double J. I spent lots trying to qualify for Saudi. That'd be the one, because you get one good showing out there, ranking points, son. Ranking points. T
Yeah.
Rex, Tony ain't going and playing in no U.S. Opens right now.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Melina, hour and 6 minutes, buddy, but it's been great to be back. I think you and I need to do this more often. I don't know where you've been. Las Vegas.
How long are you gonna be in DC?
I'm going to my parents' house tomorrow in Maryland, and I'll be there, and then I fly back Friday night. So I might could do something tomorrow night. Probably better over the weekend.
Okay. Well, what Double J? I'm hitting you up, buddy. We're gonna try to schedule it. So
Saturday night, let's
um,
go Double J.
Saturday night,
Yeah,
10 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Central.
I can do that.
Yeah.
10,
All right.
10 Central. 10 Central.
10, 10 Central. Chris Lulick says he'd take Reinhold over Wolford. Anyway, we'll let you go.
Hold on. I got a lot of respect for Chris Lulick.
Double J says date night, so we got to reschedule. Maybe Sunday.
Okay. I got a lot of respect for Chris Lulick. I don't know about that. It's close. Who do you like, Reinhold or Wolford?
I ain't seen what is Chris doing?
Playing well. Didn't he beat him gambling at Derby?
Playing 10 ball.
Back and forth or something?
I think they split sets at 10. At Derby finally.
Yeah.
But Chris has got this like weird back and forth love hate relationship. Now he's commentating his breaking runs on reels. Like I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta
know.
wonder about his commitment.
I don't think you got to wonder. I mean, I think you some guys are traveling and competing day in and day out, and not to say, and I get it, Chris. From a financial standpoint, if it doesn't make sense, I completely understand and respect it. You know what I mean? But if you're not going out there and competing day in and day out, um, uh, then not being a part of that conversation, then nothing we can do. Listen, right there, Henderson. That's the kid. You talk about a rookie who can make it in on points. That's
Yeah.
the one. That's the kid who can make it in on points. That's the kid who can sneak in as a fifth spot and who plays tough. And if he can get another year worth of seasoning under his belt, he'd be the one who could be, a strong piece of that pie for the Americans that they need. He could be a real asset to that
How
team.
old is Sam?
He's like Reggie, man. He looks like 35. No, I'm kidding. I don't know how old he is. He's got to be like 16, 17. He's got to be like 16.
Tell you can't
I
argue
think
with the way he's playing.
Eric
now.
Roberts is another one too, and I love Eric, but Eric don't go and compete in WNT events, too often.
Yeah. We need
So-
that next one to break through. He's 17. That's
17.
17.
There you go. There you go.
He's a heck of a player.
He's a great player. All right, Joe. So
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, let's do it. Sunday night. Oh wait, if it's Sunday night, it's got to be 10 o'clock your time.
Okay, we'll shoot for it. Double J, I'll hit you up in Messenger. We appreciate all you guys for tuning in. It's been a fun couple of days, but we're going to continue to go live. So make sure and keep your notifications on. And hopefully, Joey, we see you in a couple of days, my man.